Oh shit! Oh, I'm getting chased by something. What? It just left. I heard a door. Ain't no way, bro. Please. Ah, Japan's Cat Island. Somewhere you've only ever heard about, but when in reality, they actually exist. In Japan, there are apparently many different cat islands, but during my trip, I went to one that was the most easily accessible, Tashirojima. Located just off of the northeast coast, from the city of Sendai, a 50-minute train ride and an hour ferry ride will get you there. Not the most time efficient, but if you're a cat lover, it's a place you cannot miss. Many people said that it wasn't the best and has gotten worse over the years, but I still wanted to see for myself, and I found out that it was just as I imagined it to be and more, and found out there's actually some really fascinating history behind the island as well. The day starts just before 7 a.m. Quick. Boil water. Get dressed. Leave. And after getting ready for the day, we were ready to leave. Oh, we're ready. Kind of tired because I'm not used to waking up this early, but we're ready. Right, so apparently it's minus 3 degrees right now. We'll see how it actually feels. But it actually doesn't feel that bad. I think I'm just used to the cold weather. Gotta find a way to get to the station. I already bought my tickets. So to get to Tashirojima Cat Island from Sendai, you're going to have to take the train all the way to Ishinomaki, which costs 860 yen, or around about $8. Like I said, I already purchased my ticket, which was for the 7:24 a.m. departure from Sendai Station, which arrives to Ishinomaki around 8:19, which is a good time considering the ferry leaves the port at 9 a.m. and you need to walk a bit to get there. It's highly recommended to leave on the 9 a.m. ferry if you want the most out of your visit, since the next one barely gives you enough time on the island before you need to head off again, as the last ferry is pretty early. Also, you don't want to miss an event that happens at noon on the island. More on that a bit later though. So after entering the station, you're going to want to go to platform 1, I think. At least it was the case when I went. Make sure to check the displays in case. I'm not liable if you follow my instructions without using your brain first and then ending up all the way to Tokyo. And after a fairly scenic ride, passing a place I was going to come back to this day, stopping at small towns along the way, seeing the way people lived out there, and seeing some interesting designs, we finally arrived at Ishinomaki, around 50 minutes later. There, I got small town vibes once again, and found it very interesting how we were greeted with anime statues from Kamen Rider. I'm assuming that it was because it was dedicated to a very popular manga artist, Shotaro Ishinomori, which was the one who created these animes. And there's also a manga museum dedicated to him in the city as well. But anyway, if you guys didn't have time for breakfast or wanted to refuel along the way, there's a convenient little convenience store called New Days right outside the station exit. And even though there are toilets on the island, thankfully, I still visited a nearby toilet just in case, and was surprised to see even this one had a smart toilet. Right, we have made it to Ishinomaki. There's a good toilet here, there's a good convenience store here. Everything needed for the essentials. Pretty sure voiceover, like, you know, stuff that you need to know if you want to visit this place. But yeah, just gotta walk to the ferry port. And the reason why I decided to walk it was all because of this little guide right here. So as you saw earlier, there are 2 ports you can take the ferry from. I just followed this guide from someone who already had visited before, saying how planning to take the ferry from the Chura port at exactly 9 AM is the much safer option. They say it was harder to find, but it really wasn't. Just follow Google Maps. Now, I didn't walk the scenic route, but if you do, you'd be staring at many other anime figures, as well as these cool pothole covers, which I honestly have not seen any other in Japan as cool as this one. It's pretty dead right now, but I think it's because it's 8. Or like a little bit over 8, but also because it's a small town. I'm gonna record on my big camera, my high quality one, once I get to the island. That's not cemetery. I literally feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere. But I feel hella brave by doing this by myself in a small town where probably not a lot of people know English. Wow. Holy. I don't have time for this. But dude, this is so sick. Can you just go inside here willy-nilly? Oh my god. I don't have time for this, I'll come back. This looks right out of like a space movie. What the heck is that thing? Right, I don't know if this is the way there, but it looks pretty sick. Pretty sure this view, oh my god. Wow. That is some view. Now that is the manga museum, I'm pretty sure. But it's temporarily closed. So yeah, and then I gotta find out where to get a ticket. Wow, look at this view though. Insane. There we go. Ticket counter. Thankfully, the ticket office was right next to the ferry that you saw. Very convenient. First thing you had to do was sign on the passenger list. I was actually surprised. It seems people have been going on this island for years and I was a latecomer, mainly because I never had a chance to go to Japan since now. But point is, I didn't expect it to be this organized and like so quick and advanced for there to be an actual ticket office. I just thought it was just some guy I handed money to and that was it. Maybe in the past it was like that. Now I don't know what HE Island is. It's a bigger island that's next to the Cat Island, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have cats on it. I could be wrong. But Tashirojima is the actual Cat Island, the left one there. And there are 2 ports you could choose to land on, Otomari or Nitoda. Basically, to sum it up, Nitoda is the one that most people choose because it's basically the town area where shops and civilization is, but Otomari is closer to the station where most of the cats are. I just chose Otomari because I panicked and didn't know which one to choose. But it honestly does not matter one bit which port you get off at because it takes like, I don't know, maybe like 30-ish minutes to walk between ports, and you most likely will if you want to explore the island anyway. And as you saw, it costs like 25 bucks for a round trip and the machine only takes cash, so be aware of that. Also take note of the information here. And also the departure times of the ferries too, like this guy was showing me. You don't want to be missing the last ferry and getting stranded there. That's why it's a good idea to leave at the first 9 AM one. And if you're not a morning person like me, trust me, for a place like this, you're going to want to wake up early for the 9 AM one. Okay, that was sweet. This is insane. Looks like, wait, let me get that video real quick. But it looks like it's a tourist spot. People helping out, people know English. And apparently, I don't know which port. I got to the north port. Okay. You can go to any port you want. In terms of arrival ports. Well, that's weird as. But there's only one thing, one train, one boat. But even if you arrive at one station or one port, you can go to the other ports. Time to see what's on this boat. It only takes an hour to go there. 1 hour? Damn, I didn't even remember it taking that long. That's another reason to take the 9 a.m. one, because if you take the 12:30 p.m. one, you only have like 1 to 2 hours before the last ferry. Yeah, that was embarrassing. Let's just forget that ever happened. So yeah, the ship or the ferry was pretty cool, pretty spacious, as you saw. At least when I went there wasn't a whole lot of people at all, which was nice. Okay, I think we need to address what happened. Watching that clip back, it didn't look like much on the action cam, but at the time, that shit hurts. I mean, look at the damage. I don't even know what I tripped on, like dry ice or something. Like, it actually really hurt. But anyway, because there weren't a whole lot of people and really no captain, you could just go, no captain, what am I saying? But there's like hardly anybody there to like, you know, force you to stay in one place. You could just do whatever you wanted to do. So I explored the ferry and went upstairs, where I spent most of my time out. It was a lot more open and scenic. But the reason there weren't a whole lot of people was because we were yet to stop at the other ferry port in Ishinomaki, doofus. Then after we did, still there was no one really to join me up top, but I can tell you why. It was because it was really cold. But thankfully, I was wearing enough to not really feel too fazed by it. I can't remember what the temperature was, but it was a freezing cold day of, I believe, around 1 to 3 degrees Celsius. I didn't get to record it, but there was a guy who also comes to you to check and stamp your ticket too. But eventually, after an incredibly scenic ride, it literally felt like I was going to Skull Island or something, we finally made it to Otomari Port, the first port the ferry stops at, I believe. And so, our journey on Cat Island begins. Okay, I don't know why I added that in there. Anyway, so Tashirojima is honestly a pretty small island if you just walk the route of the cats, like between the ports. But I had enough time where I wanted to see more than just the cats. First though, I had no idea what to expect. I thought wild cats would just jump right at you left, right and center, and some would even be at the port. Maybe the other port, but not really this one. This port seemed the most, how do I say? The most abandoned? I don't know, but basically you really do feel like you're in the middle of nowhere when you arrive at this port. Thankfully, there were people with me though, so I felt more safe. At first, you're traveling uphill, a fairly long time. Maybe 10 minutes or so. And along the way, I kept seeing these red ribbons on the trees, which I guess is there to help guide you or something. First thing we come across was a cat shrine, which has a very interesting story that goes along with it. Now, I don't read Japanese, obviously, but after using my translator app, I was able to understand this. So since ancient times, cats have been loved by islanders as creatures that bring good luck and good catches. From the end of the Meiji period through to the Taisho era, which is around late 1800s to early 1900s, fishing was actively practiced on the island. When the fishermen were working hard, one thing that soothed their hearts was meeting friendly cats that gathered in groups lured by the spring sunshine. One day during their usual get-together, they were crushing rocks to make an anchor when a piece of stone flew off and struck a cat, accidentally killing it. The manager of the crew at the time was deeply saddened and thus erected this small stone shrine. There apparently is even a festival on March 15th, I read, where people make offerings. Wow, the history behind Japan is insane. So after straying a bit further into the island, I was starting to be like, where are all the cats? But eventually, we find one. And then more and more followed. That's when we reached the main place the cats stay at, which also happens to be their resting and eating place. This place is called Island Station, and it's the place you will find, I would say, 80% of the cats you encounter on the island, maybe even a little bit more. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it, but as I was reaching in my bag for some tissues, a huge horde of cats suddenly leapt onto the table I was on, probably because they thought I was getting some food out or something. It caused me quite a fright, but look how friendly they are to you. If you are a cat lover, do yourself a favor and visit this place at least once in your life. There were no rules like in a cat cafe. You feel like you're literally like truly one with the nature and the cats. I mean, look at how many are just chilling there. I was in cat heaven. So I told you the story of the cat shrine, but you might be wondering, how did these cats get there in the first place? Well, that's where history shines once more. So historically, the island was a center for silkworm production. Back then, maybe 100, 200, 300 years ago, and the cats were originally brought over, so brought from somewhere else, I'm assuming, to help with pest control around the island's silkworm farms. And since then, the numbers have increased to the point that they now outnumber the island's aging human population by almost 4 to 1. Very interesting indeed. Now, the reason you find most of the cats here is because there's a shop here run by an owner and his kids who also care for and feed the cats there too. In the shop, you can buy many interesting gifts, and they even have a menu where you can order food. The only thing about it though was that, as you saw from the sign, it said not to allow the cats to enter, but there was a sneaky one I accidentally let enter. Whoops. I saw a wallet with a cool looking design, so I decided to get something while I was there just to remember myself of the visit. They also have a very convenient toilet next door with some cute cat designs, and you end up seeing but some of the designs on this island really embrace the cat theme, which is nice. Along with even the food, or like there was a cafe that I heard was on the island too, but unfortunately I didn't get the chance to try them. And after playing with the cats a bit more, I decided to leave and explore the rest of the island as I still had time before the big event. Right, so I think they're feeding. Time is 12. Back at that spot. We got an hour and a half to get back. That place, I didn't think there'd be that many cats, dude. Oh, man. Got another one here. They're like not scared of you, unlike the other cats that I witnessed yesterday. Every time you touch them though, they get kind of like scared or like goosebumps. Great thing about this place is that even though on the map, it shows as like, it's a pretty big place, right? It doesn't take far to get to places. Like what? We're already in the middle. More than the middle of both ports, Nitoda and Oda something. It only took us 20 minutes to walk. Tell you one thing, thank God I have fucking translator. I was just thinking how scary it was holding my phone on the boat, on the ferry. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, we're on top of a mountain. But yeah, it was scary holding onto that phone because the ferry would always rock back and forth. So I was scared of dropping it. And I was like, suddenly with a scenario in my head, if I had to lose something, it can't be my phone, otherwise I'm fucked. Data, translate, maps. 3 of the key things to use. Like, I'd rather, even though I don't want to obviously, I'd rather lose my 3K camera than my 2K phone. Well, that goes without saying, but hopefully I don't lose anything. One thing I want to say while traveling down this thing is that I forgot. So it seems very rare to find cats randomly walking. They're always at certain spots, at least from what I'm realizing, because I've been walking for like 10 minutes, even at the start. I haven't seen a single cat. Saw like 3 strays, but very close to where I was just at, which now I've learned is called Island Station. It's weird, there's no houses, people living much over there, but it looks like most people live around the Nitoda port, which is like more southern. But soon enough, we find some more cats. It seems nowadays the reason you don't see as many strays is because the very few people who live there, which seems surreal now that I think about it. Imagine living out there. But they are the ones who care and tend for the cats. Now, in between ports, there is a split path. One goes to the other port and the other goes uphill into a different part of the island. Now walking up a hill to get to a scenic spot, I think. So it seems like these are all like people's houses. So the people who live here, I mean, look at that, see? There's cars, small cars coming. I saw one car. There's not a lot of people who live here, obviously. But man, the residents live here. They feed the cats. You don't feed the cats. You're not allowed to. I saw most of the cats look healthy. So from what I've read is that the number of cats have disappeared drastically throughout the years. And, you know, some people who came here and they're like, oh, they feel bad for the cats because they don't look the healthiest. They don't look the healthiest or whatever. I would say some cats don't look that healthy. I do agree. The cats, I'd say, I don't know. I can't really tell you because I haven't been here before. But if you go to the main like stations, right, you'll see a lot of cats. It's just when you're walking just far away and more like at random places, like where I am right now, I'm just walking down a path. You're not gonna see many strays walking around. They're not gonna pop out at you. It's only at the main places. But I'd say 80% of the cats I've seen look pretty healthy. They look pretty nice. They look very tame. I don't know, they look tired. Some look lively. They do look lively. I'm not saying that they look dead or whatever. But they're not like the cats that you see, you know, where they just would approach you for pets, would, you know, approach you, like rub against you, be overly friendly. They're definitely not those type of cats. Soon after deviating from the ports, we arrive at a place called Manga Island. A place where you can, I think, stay for the night there, which is pretty damn cool. But unfortunately, when I went, it was closed. And if you walk even further out, you really enter unknown territory. So, not wanting to go out that far just yet, I headed back. Okay, so I thought down there was a more scenic thing to see, but on the map it was nothing. It was just, wait, here, I'll show you. It was nothing. It was just the name of the island because it was at the center. I thought it was something. That's just the island name. So I'm gonna go back. I would see what's over there, but I don't think it's worth it. Maybe if I had more time. I don't know. We'll see. But I think what I'm gonna do is go to Nitoda Port, see what's up with that, then head back to island, whatever. Because this is a good scenic walk, right? This is a good nature walk if you're someone who's into that. But you come here for the cats, so I want to go back to where civilization is. So as you see here on this crumbled piece of paper, that is crumbled because I fell. Pretty sure I mentioned this. Looks like it's 1 o'clock which is I think around the time I wanted to leave, as I wanted to see something else before heading back to Sendai. But very soon after, we arrive at the small town near Natoda. Also keep in mind, even though while walking there you saw nobody but me, every few often I'd see people who arrived from Natoda port walk to the other port. At the town I saw some strays walking around, mostly though it seemed pretty dead. I heard there was some restaurants and cafes, like I said, around this area, although I didn't really feel like going to them. Maybe I should have, just for the experience. I saw some massive building that looked like it was the local government building or something.
Right. There are vending machines on this island. Tsunami warning. Okay, buddy. I don't know if I'm even able to go up here. Looks nice though. That's the port right there.
I probably should have explored the port a bit more, but I didn't really see any cats or anything worth exploring, so I headed back.
Look at that. You got cat like designs everywhere, dude. I'm so glad I came here. This place is so worth waking up early for. What do you want? Want food? You want food? Dude, he was over there on that ledge. As soon as I was grabbing tissues out of my bag, he came up to me. Hey, come here. Oh, now you want to leave. Really? He's running away from me. He looks angry, dude. Looks like someone set up camp here. Oh, it's literally a path that goes into camp. This is just outside the island station where I was first at. It's over that way.
Eventually we made our way back to the island station, in which I could see there were even more cats than before. And that was because it was close to feeding time, and I had a front row seat. I was having fun being one of the only ones outside, cat watching, as most people were inside, warming up from the cold and eating some food that they served. Damn, I kinda wish I tried something over there, but for some reason I just didn't feel it. But at least I saw the cats, which were the main thing. This one was scratching the bench, this one was scratching my shoulder, those cats suddenly started fighting, and this one suddenly leapt onto my leg and asked for endless pets. I literally felt like I died. I was in heaven. And soon after, more and more cats arrived, all waiting for their lunch break. The owner then came out with a large feasting tray, as I don't even know how many, 30 or something cats came to feast. It was truly a sight to behold. Afterwards, the cats had more energy as they started roaming around energetically again. And after seeing enough of the cats, I wanted to see a bit more of what the island had to offer, since I probably wasn't going to be back in a long time.
It's a gang leader. It's a gang. Where the gang going? Right, that was extremely worth it. I think I stayed there for around 40 minutes. I'd give it a take. I don't know. Just a little bit over 12 p.m. The owner came out, fed them. They ate really quickly. They were all just lining up there waiting to eat. Afterwards, they had a lot of energy, and then they just went and played, some of them. But yeah. Now, well, I think the ferry leaves from the port. Latest is 3, but I'm not gonna wait till that. That's only unless I miss the, the 2 o'clock one. I'm pretty sure it's 2 o'clock anyway. So right now it is 12:30. It's got a bit of time, so I'm gonna make another loop around the loop where I didn't end up looping. I returned back. So that loops back to the Oda port. I might munch on a sandwich I bought from Family Mart yesterday on the road there. I just put my big camera away for a bit. Well, I needed to move around because it's so cold. Ugh. Oh, when I move, I need to generate some heat. It's so cold. Trust me, I would stay there all day if I could. I have never owned a cat, never owned a pet in general. There was one period of my life in 2015 where there was this random black cat that just came into our backyard. Had him for a month before he ran away, or I guess the owners kind of like returned him to, our neighbors returned him back to his owner, which was a shame. That was, I think, the only instance I ever had a pet other than a rabbit and some goldfish, which I don't really count them as pets. I had a rabbit, but you don't really do much with a rabbit, So yeah, coming here, great little experience. This island is not big at all. It really isn't. You could walk from one side to the other, and if you're quick like me, probably 30 minutes, which isn't a lot of time if you think about it.
We then eventually made our way beyond Manga Island, to the path we went back from before. And along the way we kept finding red ribbons like this one, just like before, which I guess is good for if you're lost and need to find your way again.
Still walking. So I don't know if you can see. I think you can. I'm gonna film this on my phone just to show you guys. But you see, look at the reflection. You see that reflection? I don't know if it's showing in the right hand screen. That's because yesterday, as I was trying to take a selfie, or standing my tripod phone thing, and that's how I've been getting photos of myself with no one around, full body photos. I've been setting them on a selfie stick that can extend to a tripod. Problem with that is that it's so flimsy that a bit of wind can drop it, and it's actually happened twice or 3 times. Once in Seoul, once somewhere else, and once yesterday during the abandoned tsunami school museum thing. And what happened there is that it fell on the front of my phone, and the screen protector cracked. So it cracked where the front camera lens is, I guess.
The walk to where I was going, which I don't even know where I was going, actually took a lot longer and more effort than I thought.
Just walked up that hill. It's actually scary in a way. In a way, I say. Because I'm the only one walking this trail. There didn't seem to be a lot of people on the ferry with me. It definitely wasn't packed at all. It's probably because wrong season. It's pretty cold right now. But this trail is going the widest route. So I've been walking for 20 minutes. I don't even think I've reached halfway. It's not very scenic, but if I do this route, I can say that I've gone everywhere on this island. I haven't really explored too much of Nidoda Port. To the south though, I didn't go see the cafes. There's a cafe that looks cool there, but I didn't feel like wasting my time with that one. Also, I needed to get back to Island Port just in time to watch the cat feeding session. Just had a thought, right? Imagine someone was watching me from these trees, like this forest area, and there was like a trap on the ground that lifted me up, like you see in the movies. Fuck, I watched too many movies, dude. So I walked 2.5 Ks, a little bit over actually. We are at Mitsuishiyaki, whatever the fuck that is. Here's a better look at it. Alright, so I've been walking a while. I actually doubt I can make it back in time, even though I really want to. But we have arrived at okay, remember the bow. And then pass through. Whoa. Looks like we can go multiple different directions. That way, this way. I don't know where to go. Wow, this view is fucking insane though. What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Some kind of offering. It's weird because I don't know much about the law or what happens, or the customs in Japan. Let's go here because it looks cool. I actually don't know if I'll make it back in time. If that's all you're gonna get. Like, it'll take ages to explore all of this place. Honestly, this part especially. And I don't want to wait another hour to get back. I still have to go somewhere else, right? So I'm just gonna quickly try to get back because I think I'm done with this place. I don't want to leave on the last ferry because I want to get back home early. I still need to go to Matsushima Bay, and I have to go to Tokyo tomorrow.
But it seemed like I was walking to a dead end, but a very scenic dead end at that, as I got my reward for walking so far. I swear, when I was in Japan, it felt like a Breath of the Wild game, where I just needed to explore every nook and cranny I could, and you kept finding cool shrines everywhere you looked too. Maybe this was where the cat died from the story. But that view though, man, if I had more time, I would have probably admired it a lot more.
Never mind, I just made it somewhere. I need to trek back. Actually, it looks like there's a path here, but I don't know if it takes me back to where I need to go. But this looks fucking insane. I wish I had more time here, but
it didn't. I found another offering place, so back I went.
oh shit! Oh, I'm getting chased by something. No, I'm just kidding. I need to run because I don't think I'm gonna make it in time. I have a little bit over 20 minutes. And Google Maps says I need 30 minutes to get there. So, check that out though. Wow. See a boat in the distance. Can't be bothered getting out my big camera, but I hope you guys can see that.
This was the other interesting thing I found after, while I was literally running some parts to try to make that ferry.
Away from that joint. Lucky I bought this too. I bought the sandwiches in this. I had this. It says a special jelly drink. It's designed to supply carbohydrates equivalent to 1 rice ball. It tastes like guarana, like some grape jelly, like something we have back in Australia. It tastes so good.
Eventually, we made it back to the port.
I see it. I see it. I've got 3 minutes left. What? It just left. I heard a door. Ain't no way, bro. Please. Please. I don't see anyone else here though.